Welcome back to Against My Better Judgment, the podcast where two friends,
I'm Tamara Golden.
and I'm Dannelle Whiteside, tell the truth, share the lessons, and laugh about the times when we knew better but did it anyway. Every week, we will share the real stories about the time that life surprised us, stretched us, or straight up humbled us, and what we learned along the way.
And for this season, we're calling it That Time When. But before we get to it, how was your week?
The week has been pretty steady, I would say. We have had a couple of visitors in town. Mm-hmm. It's the summertime. The schedules are
like visitors that stay at your house or just
just came in town. A friend, mutual friend of ours, came in town because they're visiting their family. And so, when they come in town, they also see us. And so we did that.
I got a request.
What?
When is Allison coming back to town?
Oh, Allison, you know what? She needs to come back soon because she's about to start back to work. She's an administrator in school, and so she gets a break, but it's not very long. So she needs to come back because my children, Allison has been a friend of mine since we were in 7th grade, and we were really close. But she has such a youthful spirit that when she comes, my kids think that she's coming for them, like that's her friend. And like my son, Donovan, will be like, when is that girl coming back?
That's right. I'm telling you, I'm gonna, when we get done with this episode, we're gonna have to reach out to Allison.
We do.
So
what about you?
Yeah, pretty light week. The grind is real. I launched my business this week, so just really, begging for business. And I had a happy hour this week. I hosted a happy hour, so that was fun.
Who was there?
So just some friends in the neighborhood. There's a group of us. We try to get together a couple times a month.
Oh, that's cool.
And this one was very impromptu. Like literally there are 3 women, well, 4 including me. We walked the neighborhood, and at the end of the walk, we're like, let's do a happy hour. So it was it was impromptu, but it was fun. So
we have neighbors, but they're not drinking neighbors. Like we didn't drinking neighbors.
Yeah, this is a different. And I have to balance my neighbors because I have a lot of neighbors. So I have to make sure like a group of neighbors are doing something Wednesday at this local place, a singer-songwriter event. Mm-hmm. And I haven't hung out with these neighbors in a minute. And one of my direct neighbors will be there. So, you just have to balance it out. And because you can't do everything with everybody.
Yeah. And you can't mix all the neighbors either.
You cannot. So, I look forward to each of them. But that was a pretty fun group. So, let's get right to it. We were talking about that time when specific to you, but today we're going to go to that time when Dannelle figured out that her brother was her mom's favorite child.
Yes, we're gonna talk about it, and I'm looking at it like this because I know my brother and my mama are going to be watching or listening to this, and I want you to know I'm telling it all. Okay?
That's right. That's it. You're in a safe space.
And I also know you have a brother too, and so we probably have very common.
Oh yeah,
things to share
for sure. And we're both. Well, the difference between is David John oldest?
He is the oldest.
Okay, my brother's the oldest also.
He's 3 years older.
Okay, mine's 2 years older than me.
So, see, similarities.
He's 2 years older than me, but he acts 3.
People will tell me that they think I'm the older child. Yep. And I don't know if it's the feminine energy that,
It's maturity.
Not to say that my brother's immature.
No.
But, he lives a life that is very free.
Yeah.
Very carefree.
Yep.
I know he has cares, but he kind of moves about like this is a decision that I'm making, and so you all need to
see you on the other side.
Yeah.
But I want
you all need to address yourselves accordingly.
Right.
And sometimes I think that is very brave. Like I look at that like I wish I could be more of like,
you can
carefree, but I'm just not wired that way. So I won't say that there is one particular story that made me realize this, but life has also shown me things in having my own children. So, like, for instance, when we were growing up, if my brother went out of town, like, you know, as like late teens, kind of like as we were starting to like leave the nest.
Like summer camp? Out of town?
Maybe like when he was in college, if he went on a trip.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
He would go and we wouldn't hear from him until he came back.
Okay.
Now, if
Like, who is we?
Me, my mom.
Why? What? Like, why would he be calling you? Like,
Well, you know, let me juxtapose that with what the expectation is for me would be when you get there, call me.
but not call your brother.
Well, my mom would expect that I called her when I got there.
Okay, that's fair.
Call her, you know, we would talk while I was there, telling her what I was doing, not because she wanted me to check in or whatever, but just because we would talk about,
well, maybe you're the favorite
day. No, because I feel like he gets to just go and do and
no, but she wants to talk to you anyway.
Then there are the times in recent years where I'm talking to my mom on the phone and she's like, oh, this your brother calling. I'll call you back. How he get the...
I wouldn't dare let her off that phone. I said, you better not hang up this phone.
How does he get the Trump card?
Because she hadn't talked to him in 2 months.
Well, but they still talk. I mean, and then there are times when she's like, well, I talked to your brother about this. You don't understand it, but we talked about it. We understand it. And it's just like, oh, dang. What is happening here? And so I just have over time, you know, have come to accept that he is the favorite.
No.
Like he could do anything and it's celebrated.
Give me more examples, because right now you sound like the favorite. I mean, I need some more evidence.
You get, let me think. I gotta think of some more examples. I just feel that way. And then, like, for instance, another thing, she always calls him her number one son.
Because she only has one son. Like, let's be real clear.
Yeah, but you don't have a number one daughter.
That would be you.
Yeah, but she never called me that.
Oh my gosh. Let me text your mama.
Yeah, so she's not going to say, hey, my number one daughter. But, you know, hey, my number one son.
When she needs a ride to go to get that roller set, you tell her to call her number one son.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm still not convinced though.
I mean, but there's all sorts of things that mothers do for their sons that they don't do for their daughters. It's like what is that adage, like mothers love their sons and raise their daughters? Like it's a difference in life preparation that happens in a house with a mom and a daughter versus a son and a daughter.
I do think I agree with that, because I do tend to think just observation. A lot of these boys who will be men, I mean, they are babied. And while these boys who will be men are babied, you have these girls who will be women that are carrying the boys and saying, sit down. Like they're almost having a more parental type role with the sibling, even if they're not the oldest.
And actually, good case in point. And my mom and I talked about this when we spent time in Seattle, because she told me, you know, she's like, I never had any trouble with you. The one time I had trouble out of you was, she gave me the story, and I know exactly what it was. But I told her, I was like, you know, I have struggled is probably a strong word to describe what I'm about to say, but it is something that I've always thought about, is like I have been socialized to be the responsible one. Mm-hmm. Like my mom, when we were growing up, worked 6 to 2:30, so that 6 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. so that she could be there to pick us up after school. What that meant was my dad was responsible for getting us to school every day. Mm-hmm. But actually, what it actually meant was that Dannelle was responsible for waking up her dad and her brother, making sure everybody was eating, and that we got out the door, fussing at them. Why are we always late? Because my daddy was notoriously late. Like, he would love him to death. He would take us on the way to school. We would stop 2 places: Krispy Kreme donuts, because the hot donut sign was always on in the mornings, and to Centennial Park to feed the ducks. And then we would go to school. And we would be late,
Carefree?
at least an hour.
That's that carefree?
Yes. So
wow. An hour?
Yes, like for real. I mean, at this time,
you missed the Pledge of Allegiance.
Girl, didn't even know they did that every day.
You missed you missed breakfast. Let's start with here. You done missed what didn't happen on the bus. If you didn't ride the bus, you got to hear about what didn't happen on the bus.
I didn't ride the bus.
You done missed. I know that's why you got to get there early to hear. You done missed. You can never be lined up right. You done missed the morning announcements. What's for lunch? You have missed the Pledge of the Allegiance. And if you're of an age where they prayed, you'd have missed that prayer.
I did.
And you may have missed a little bit of like whatever your first subject was. I mean, an hour. That's truant.
Well, at the time, I don't think they cared. I think my mom said they would call because my dad is deceased. So I hear the stories through my mom. So I think she said they would call her and say, your kids have like 30 tardies. And she would be like, you need to call Dr. Walker because I don't take them to school. So anyway, all that to say was the term they're saying now is the adultification of kids. I was adultified in that moment of like having to get two men ready and out the door, like, keep the schedule moving. And so that was just not the burden placed on my brother. Why was that placed on me? Was it because I'm a girl?
Because you accepted it. If you would have walked away from it, they would have been just fine.
What did you have? Did I know I had a choice? I mean, at that age,
of course not. You liked it a little bit.
I guess so. I mean, I guess there's part of me that you're socialized to excel. You're socialized to be dependable, and you appreciate the validation that comes from being a person that people can depend on.
True.
I guess,
And I think it's like, the word you used was adultification. Mm-hmm. I think it's fine, but like I appreciate that extra that I got or extra responsibility that I had, but he needed it too. Like if you're going to adultify someone, adultify every single kid.
Yeah.
Because I know and knew that my brother was my parents' favorite, and I did not care. I was just one of those kids. I totally did not care because he was different. And I was in a place to where at least I felt really popular and all that. So I felt, and I was my grandma's favorite and she said it. And I liked her better and she was my favorite. So it was kind of like, but the thing that I think made him their favorite in my eyes is because he needed more and they had to give him more. And at that time, I've since had some adultification. So hindsight, I realized like, okay, he needed way more attention than I did. Because you couldn't sit him down and walk away and he get his work done.
Yeah.
You couldn't leave him, even though he was 2 years older than me, you just couldn't. And even to this day, I just remember at Christmas, like, I don't know what it was. And so I'm making this part up. Let's just say like I bought my parents like let's just say a big screen TV. And they're like, oh, thanks. This is grand. And about like 2 days after Christmas, this boy shows up with a Christmas card, just saying like, Merry Christmas. And you would have thought that Christmas card, I think it's framed. I mean, you would have thought that Christmas card was the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
So even to this day, I don't have a real relationship with my brother, but I do recognize that he needs way more than I do. And if they need to give him more, that's totally fine with me.
Yeah, I've come to, my brother and I are very close, but I've come to understand it in the context of my own children. So
gotcha.
I got 3 boys, so everybody's getting I am conscious of raising people. I'm raising someone's partner, and so I don't want them to be the partner that walks over the pile of trash and don't pick it up. Like, I want you to be actively involved in the keeping of this house, and they help me cook, and because if you know how to eat, you need to know how to cook. Like, that's just how I'm trying to raise them. But I also know that there is a difference in the relationship that I have with each of my children, and the firstborn child is like, we went through it together. Like, I know me and Donovan, I learned everything about being a parent through him, and so we have a certain closeness that I don't have. Not that I'm not close with my other children, but it's a bond that's different. We also went through COVID together. Like, me and him, he was on all my work meetings in COVID because he was like 13 or 14 months. So we have a different tie.
So who's your number two? Because we clearly,
I don't have a
clearly
favorite.
Donovan's your favorite. So who's next? Who's number two?
I
Go
don't
ahead.
have a number two.
Yeah, you
I don't
just
have
said
a number one.
Donovan. I mean,
No,
yes.
it's just that we have a different experience. It's like,
Donovan.
I don't have a...
Donovan, you're number one.
You're not.
Just so you know.
You're not. You're the firstborn.
Same thing, number one.
I love all of my children equally.
Whenever you say that, no, you can, because your relationship with them is different. Different is fine, but Donovan's number one is okay.
No, he's not. He's the number one child is
your favorite.
in
It's
the
all
order
good.
of children that I have. But I guess what I'm saying is, now I understand why my mom's retort is, he's not my favorite. We just have a different history. The history is different, and it creates a different bond. Like, for instance, like, when I think about them, Ronan is going to get a different experience of me because I'm going to have him for 4 years by himself. If in the grand order of things, if things happen as I hope they will, that, my other two children will be gone to college, and then Ronan will be here for 4 years. So I'm going to get to know him in a very different way than I would have gotten to know Donovan and Shannon. So it just creates different connections.
Ronan will not be in that house for 4 years by himself. That's all I gotta say.
They getting out of the. Let me not talk that.
Exactly.
I told my husband, I was like, my children can stay at home with me as long as they want to.
See what I mean? Baby and the boys.
It's not really baby.
Whatever happened to adulteration?
Well, no,
that's the problem. These kids can't do nothing because these parents want to keep them there.
I know. For me, I have been able to do all the things I've been able to do in my life because I know that I have a soft place to land. If I go bankrupt today, lose all my money, everybody walks away from me, I know I can go home.
Well, that's different from staying as long as they want at the house.
Well, but I guess I'm saying staying as long as you want until you get on your feet. Until you can figure out how to fly on your own. And that door is going to always be open. Now, I know my husband, if he was sitting right here, be like, no. But, that's a mother's love. Like, and I know my mom, feels that way about, because I came back, I've lived with my mom as an adult on 3 different occasions. When I graduated from law school and I came back here, I lived with her for 2 years. Enough time to study for the bar, pass the bar, get my first job, save enough money to buy a house. I did that. Then when I moved away to Philadelphia and came back, me and my husband moved in with my mom. Enough time because the house that I bought, I had a tenant, they moved out. And so we stayed with her for 6 months until that tenant moved out, and we moved it back into my house. Then we moved back into her house when we had Donovan. It was about a 3-month time frame from when we had Donovan to when our house was being built and was finished. So I always know that I can go home.
See, I know that I can, but I haven't lived at home since I left for college at 18. And even though I know that I can, the idea of it, I mean, my parents are going to stay with me, but it's something about that. I've lived by myself for so long that that would be quite but in fairness to you, I know that I can, but I think that is more or less just the love from parents, and parenting, not necessarily someone saying you can stay here as long as you want to. That's totally different. It can come very organically without an invitation to be scooting around the kitchen, at 37.
Well,
but whatever works, whatever.
It does. But I mean, all that to say that I understand now why my brother's my mom's favorite.
Well, that's okay. I mean, and Donovan, you should be fortunate that you are Dannelle's favorite.
You're not my favorite. You're my favorite firstborn child.
Yeah. Okay.
Shannon is my favorite secondborn child. London is my favorite thirdborn child.
Well, you're my favorite podcast co-host.
Very good.
How about that?
Well, there are a lot of things that happen within families. I think this is just a way to understand that. I think the biggest thing that this conversation draws out is keep living and understand, like, relationships change, they evolve. The things that you might have experienced as a child, given the color of context of, like, understanding what your parents might have been experiencing when they were raising you, like, it just takes you getting older to understand, like, man, it must have been really hard then to leave at 6:00 knowing that your daughter was there, like, having to get these men wrangled up, like, it must have been it must have been a little mom guilt to be like, dang, I wish I could take my kids to feed the ducks in the morning.
Or it could have been, the only guilt she had was having to get up at 5 a.m. to get ready to be out the door by 6. Or it could have been, like, I know some parents, like, they stay out a little later because they're like, if I go home now, I got to put the kids down. So it could be, finally, I don't have to get them kids ready. I know I gotta get them bathed.
I mean, it could be a lot of things, but it just takes time and growing to realize the real context of it all.
No, I totally agree. But like I said, you're my favorite co-host.
Yeah, so you're my favorite.
And don't you forget it.
Well, it's time for our favorite segment, Against Our Better Judgment. This is where we confess the moments that maybe we ignore little red flags, or we saw someone else who ignored little red flags, or we made a decision that, now we're looking back on, like, maybe I should have done something differently. So it's your turn today.
Okay. Well, as a few of you know, and as we get to know each other better through this podcast, I love sports. So I lettered in 4 sports in high school. Mm-hmm. And I played basketball in college. And to this day, I just love sports. If it's a sport, I've done it and I like to go. I don't spend money on a lot of just stuff, but I love experiences. And I have a goal of going to all 4 Grand Slams for tennis. And so there's the Australian Open is the first of the year, and I've not done that one. Then there's the French Open, also known as Roland Garros. I've done that one. Then there's Wimbledon, which is in London. Mm-hmm. I've done that one. And then, of course, there's a U.S. Open, which is the final Grand Slam of the year for tennis. And I've done that one. So I'm lacking the Australian Open. Recently, the nice thing about 2025 is that the American women, so United States women, have been on a roll. So Madison Keys won the Australian Open, which is bananas. Coco Gauff won Roland Garros, also known as the French Open. And Wimbledon, which I had the fortune of being able to go to this year, while Amanda Anisimova did not win, she was in the finals. She lost to Swiatek from Poland. And it had me thinking of all the sports I played. I didn't play tennis. And that's totally against my better judgment because I had the signs. Both of my parents played tennis.
Really?
Yep. So there are tennis rackets at the house. Dad had this bucket of tennis balls all the time. I never saw them play, but I knew that they both played. And for whatever reason, I didn't play tennis. And that is totally against my better judgment. For me to love to watch this sport and spend as much money as I do watching this sport and traveling, after seeing Coco, I'm like, man, I wonder if I would have had that kind of fight and been able to play tennis because I like depending on myself.
Well, that is interesting that you had such exposure and then you were like, I'm good on that. I'm gonna tell you,
I wasn't good on it though.
Did you
Hindsight.
ever? Was it ever offered to you to like take lessons?
No.
Or to play? No. Okay.
We can learn in that backyard, baby. No.
I will tell you what, I have not been an athlete. It's, you know, I don't know. You can probably guess that.
No, you're tall.
I am
Probably
tall.
about 5'10".
Let me tell you what happened though. I tried out for basketball in the 4th grade, and I was cut from the roster. And I said,
Had you played at any point before the 4th grade?
No, but I said then that I was never going back there.
See, that's the thing. Like, you hadn't played, and it's a difficult sport to start playing in 4th grade, and you'd never played before. Like, what made you even sign up to try out?
Why I tried out. I think it was because I had some friends who were also trying out. Actually, that is exactly it. One of my friends, I remember her now, tried out for she was really good, and I think I was just like, oh well, I'll try out too, because people kept saying, oh, you're tall, you should play basketball. And so I was like, oh, okay, you know, ciao.
How tall are you? 5'10", 5'9"?
5'9".
Okay,
Yeah,
5'9".
I'm the average height for a man.
Really? Mm-hmm. I'm 5'9", but you want to know the truth?
What?
I've been 5'9" since kindergarten.
You lie.
I'm telling you. I thought that I was going to be like 7'7". I've been 5'9" my whole life. I was born 5 feet. I'm telling you, I've been 5'9" my whole life. I was always in the back in the school pictures.
We have the same story there. I was definitely always
because I've been 5'9" my entire life, and I did not grow another inch.
Yeah. Well, I will say, against my better judgment, I should have. Against my better judgment, I went to, instead of going into sports, I went into like leadership and arts. So I did like SGA. Yeah. I did choir. I played the violin for 14 years.
Choir?
Girl, you know I can sing.
No, nobody knows that. No.
Yes.
I did choir, but I couldn't sing.
I performed in Carnegie Hall 3 times. I'm not lying.
Hit it.
No.
Hit it. Just give us something.
I'm going to give you nothing. I'm not going to sing right now because I have a little nasally.
Here we are. It's always something. A Carnegie, a trained singer can't just sing off the...
I can, but I'm just not going to. But all that to say is there is a camaraderie. So there is some crazy statistic, and I don't have it in my brain, but I'll tell you. It's like 1 in 3 out of 4 like women CEOs played sports in their childhood or in college.
It's interesting you say that because I have a t-shirt that I actually had on today, and I changed for this, and I have one for Gabby, and it says female athletes grow up to be leaders.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it's something about fending for yourself, confidence, being a team player, knowing your strengths and someone else's weaknesses, recognize how someone else's strengths can strengthen your weaknesses, being able to accept defeat.
Yeah.
I mean, I was a sore loser.
Were you?
Oh my gosh. I mean, crying when I lost, and my mom told me softball was my very first sport. And she's like, if you're going to cry like this every time after you lose, you're going to have to stop playing. That was enough to dry the tears. I mean, lousy mom moment.
I would have said the same thing.
No,
I don't have time
no, listen. Lousy mom moment. I needed something like, why are you crying? Like, with, like, why are you crying? Let me explain something. Now, it was petty, and her response still would have been the same. But the point is, she told me that, and that stopped the tears. I'm still, and sometimes people confuse competitiveness with a poor sportsmanship. Mm-hmm. Totally different. But again, I really wish that I would have picked up tennis.
Yeah, and I can't say that I wish I would have stuck with basketball, but I see where it would have, being in competitive sports would have helped me. Now, I got leadership in a lot of different ways. We talked about leading in life, you know, being adultified. So I got leadership, wrangling people, pulling them together. I got leadership, you know, in student government. I was first chair in violin, so I got leadership, you know, with that.
Like, with the violin, like...
You're doing it wrong. It is up here, sitting up straight, up here, and the bow's this way.
And then under your chin?
The violin is under your chin, but you're really not... your chin is doing some of the work, but it's also in the wrist. But anyway.
Anyway, you want to show us that, but you don't want to sing. So
what I'm saying is, I don't regret it because my life turned out the way it is, and I definitely am a leader. But I recognize that there are things that you get from playing sports that I don't know, you know, like that I wish I was exposed to. You know?
And you with your sisterhood, I mean, you get some scratches, and like I have some sores and scars that I can playing sports that I'll never get rid of. So there's some not so great things with sports, and some things that your kids are exposed to that they may not otherwise. Ask the gymnastics teams. So you know, pros and cons. Yeah, pros and cons to everything. But I'd love to see you make a layup.
You won't, because I can't do it.
All right, there's still time.
Okay, so here's your little takeaway. You know, sometimes it's funny, sometimes it stings, sometimes you're like, dang, I wish I was my mom's favorite. Sometimes you wish, dang, I wish I had played tennis. But I think the takeaway here is you are who you are, your experiences make you, and use those experiences to continue to grow and be who you're designed to be.
Yeah, and I always hear from one of my good friends is, you know, don't be so hard on yourself. You're perfect just the way you are. And so I'd leave that with this group. You're perfect just the way you are.
That's good. So. Well, thanks for hanging out with us for another episode of Against My Better Judgment podcast. We'll be back next week with more stories, more lessons, and definitely more laughs.
Yeah. And be sure to follow us on Instagram at Against My Better Judgment Pod, on Facebook also. And also shoot us an email if you have a good idea or you want to comment or compliment us at againstmybetterjudgmentpod@gmail.com.
Yep. And we're so glad you're here. Until next time, we hope your family group chats are as peaceful or as competitive as ours. And we'll see you next time.
All right.